Back in the day, phone cameras had pretty small lenses and sensors compared to what they are today. Even then, a Nokia fanboy like myself was mind-blown when I heard that the Nokia N8 released in 2010 would have a sensor around half an inch, which would be larger than many point-and-shoot cameras on the market. Fast forward to 2023, and we have companies like Vivo, Xiaomi, and Oppo jumping on the hype train by releasing flagship phones that have 1-inch sensors, which are currently the largest on the market. It's definitely not easy for phones to catch up to professional cameras, but this is surely a step in the right direction. So, which 1-inch smartphone is the best? The Xiaomi 13 Pro, the Oppo Find X6 Pro, or the Vivo X90 Pro Plus? The battle of the 1-inch sensors is underway. Let the facts speak. Taking a look at the first picture, our decisions might confuse you a little. Normally, we would go with the photo on the right because it's just more visible. For a comparison focusing on 1-inch sensors though, there are other important aspects at play here. The Xiaomi 13 Pro has the least amount of blur in the background, but the sky looks pretty nice. The Vivo X90 Pro Plus's software opted to brighten me up at the expense of the dynamic range that I just mentioned. The Oppo Find X6 Pro, on the other hand, has the most amount of information, nice blur in the background, as well as good dynamic range. This photo is similar to what a professional camera with a large sensor would take, and it's fairly easy to slightly brighten my face and body in post-processing. It will be the photo that gets 3 points, while the others get 2 with positives and negatives balancing each other out. The second photo was one on the roof with plenty of sunlight. Just like in the first photo, Vivo opted to increase the brightness, which affected the result negatively even more this time because there was already enough light to go around. Oppo once again has taken the best photo, as not only the color accuracy is on point, it also overall looks the most appealing. Xiaomi has done a little better than Vivo here, as the skin tone on the right is just too red. Indoors is going to be an even bigger struggle. While we do see that very nice natural blur of everything in the background, the dynamic range is interestingly almost flawless on the X90 Pro Plus. Vivo's software looks to be working the way it was designed, as the other two, especially the Find X6 Pro, can't keep up with half of the background being completely blown out. The Xiaomi 13 Pro managed that a bit better, and I do like the soft texture of my face, so they will be walking away with the 2 points. The second indoor photo had me laughing and also hoping that Xiaomi pulls out something crazy with the 13 Ultra, as their software is often the one thing holding them back. I'm sure you all had problems with dynamic range while taking photos. Usually, if the subject is visible, the background can be too bright. If the background is visible, then the subject can be too dark. In the photo of the Xiaomi 13 Pro, neither I nor the background is visible. This doesn't make much sense, and it has to do with the software. The Vivo X90 Pro Plus has given us the best result once again, with the Oppo Find X6 Pro following close by. At night, the color accuracy often gets tricky. It's hard for the devices to fully understand what they're looking at, especially with a lot of different lights coming in from different corners. As you can see, even though the dynamic range looks the nicest on the X90 Pro Plus, it has made my face look quite red, which is not what I'm looking for. The Find X6 Pro's photo looks better, but it lacks the natural night look. Xiaomi phones are known to take nice photos at night, and they have started off pretty well with the 3 points. The second photo was way more balanced between the three, with the exception of Vivo once again loving that red complexion. The other two look almost identical, with the main difference being Oppo having slightly more information than Xiaomi, which can be seen by looking at my hair and my jacket. In the end, the Oppo Find X6 Pro took the best overall photos with their 1-inch sensor. If we were to focus on the small details though, while they took the best photos outdoors, the Vivo X90 Pro Plus outperformed all of them with better dynamic range indoors. And at night, it was a battle between Xiaomi and Oppo. So what I mean to say is they all have their advantages and disadvantages. Portrait mode will most likely give us different results due to this relying more on the software than the 1-inch sensor. Still though, it's guaranteed that the sensor does make a positive difference. Our favorite photo of the first image was taken by the X90 Pro Plus. Even though it looked very similar to the Find X6 Pro, the tone of my skin was what made the difference. Xiaomi's photo has too much blur and my skin is just too smooth. Next outdoor portrait shot will go the way of Vivo once again, as it's a pretty flawless photo. Xiaomi takes second this time due to Oppo completely blowing out the background in order to keep me visible. This is unnecessary, as I'm sure everyone can agree that the 13 Pro's photo looks nicer. Indoors is going to be an easy start. For some reason, Xiaomi completely outperformed Vivo in the first photo when it was the other way around for regular indoor shots. Oppo is not too different, as the photos in the middle and the right are good enough to only get 1 point. Vivo does bounce back though by showing us that the previous mess up was a fluke. Going head to head with Xiaomi, we think that the edge detection is slightly better in the photo on the right, with the worst one being in the one in the middle, especially when you pay attention to my right shoulder above the orange flower. Lastly, these photos were taken at night. Trust me when I say this, it was pretty dark outside, but the sensors pick up so much light that they make it look like it's 6 p.m. Our winner for the first photo was the Xiaomi 13 Pro, as it just looks better than the others minus the skin tone. Not a fan of the edge detection of the Oppo Find X6 Pro, but it's still better than what the Vivo X90 Pro Plus pulled out this time around. This one was also a struggle due to a yellow light being right behind me, one that Vivo failed to control. Really had a hard time choosing between Xiaomi and Oppo here, so they'll be tied with 2 points each, as neither of them are perfect or close to it. Portrait photography won't be comparable to professional photography anytime soon, and the reason for this is a professional camera doesn't apply any blur to the picture, it's just naturally there due to this being how cameras work. That being said, a 1-inch sensor does work in more ways than one. Enter high-resolution photos. All of these phones are able to take photos in high resolution at 50 megapixels. What this does is increase the amount of information you have in a photo so that when you crop in, you will get much more detail. Pretty amazing how Vivo seems to have really optimized their camera for this mode, as it is better than Xiaomi, but considerably better than Oppo when it comes to those fine details. Indoors under decent lighting will give us the same results. The X90 Pro Plus just captures the fine details better, as the Xiaomi 13 Pro is also decent, putting up a better performance than the Oppo Find X6 Pro. At night though, Oppo for some reason had much more information than usual. Granted, it is sharpened up artificially, but you're able to see the details better than on Xiaomi's flagship. Vivo didn't show us what it did in the first 2 high-resolution photos, but it's good to mention that it still overall performed the best. This mode is pretty niche, I'll admit, but I can definitely see a few uses for it, especially for smartphone enthusiasts that just want to push their phones to the limit. Speaking of, there is one aspect of smartphones that is very important, and that is being able to take good videos. So, just how much does a 1-inch sensor affect this? I guess we could say that it affects it to some extent, while software still plays an important part. Xiaomi flagships take pretty good videos, as I like what I'm seeing on the screen with regard to clarity and color accuracy. The newest Oppo flagship though isn't on the same level, even though the quality is pretty good. It's just a bit unnecessarily dark, but the information remains sound and steady, giving it 2 points. The phone that's last on the list is the Vivo flagship, and while the quality is good once again, it's the opposite of the Find X6 Pro, being a bit too bright for my taste, leaving Xiaomi to take the first video, which was outdoors. Moving indoors, Xiaomi continues to deliver a quality experience. It's not perfect by any means, but I do like the colors and detail present in the frame. The same can be said for the Oppo flagship, as there are just minor differences between the two, mostly being about the skin tone, but I have no issues with either one. The Vivo flagship though is kind of back to its old ways. The skin tone is slightly reddish, and there is visibly more noise, especially around the umbrella, leaving it with 2 points once again. At night, I really didn't have to think much. Xiaomi is not perfect, but pretty good, so 2 points should be in order for an above average performance. Oppo's video though looks great. Everything is much more visible without taking away the night ambiance, so 3 points for them this time around. Vivo unfortunately dropped the ball towards the end, as even though the background looks more visible than the others, I, as a subject, look darker than needed. The battle of the 1-inch sensor camera phones has finally ended, and I must say I was pleasantly surprised by how good they looked in certain situations. Oppo was the overall winner in photos, with Xiaomi taking portrait by just being 1 point ahead of Vivo, who turned it around and won the high resolution category. Lastly, videos were tied between Xiaomi and Oppo with 8 points each to Vivo's 5. All you smartphone camera enthusiasts, would you like to see more phones with larger sensors? Do you think that one day the hardware and the software will come together to challenge professional cameras? Leave your comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to support the channel. See you in the next video.